Welcome to Wise Beyond Bitcoin, where you come for the crypto neo news, education, and opportunities. My name is Lucas.
My name is Ryan.
And we're very excited to share this video with you. This is about crypto airdrops and opportunities, a focus on the opportunities, some education and who to follow for the latest news to stay abreast, because there's always so much happening. We do have playlists. You can follow us, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you're into airdrops and free crypto giveaways and how to earn this. But we have a list of many of the top resources in social media and on YouTube. So make sure you follow the timestamps below and you check out the links that we leave below, because we do that sort of thing. This is just educational, entertainment information. This is not financial advice, commercial advice, legal advice, marital advice, medical advice. Do your own research to be your own bank. This is a new emerging technology, and we're fumbling our way through it, learning about Web 3.0 wallets and staking and sending and receiving and picking validators and what is a secret NFT and all that good stuff. So check out the playlist. But what we really want to share is, where are the largest opportunities? If you've been in crypto and DeFi for a while, and then shucks, I guess I should have, old-fashioned style, we like to look at the market. What's the market doing today?
Yeah, I mean, I took a peek at it earlier before we started making this video, and a little on the sell side, some sell side pressure. I think the war narrative is really, it's putting us in a sell side moment, right? And the new every maternity hospital that gets blown up, or every new massive corporation that pulls out of Russia, this is what you're looking at, right? So yeah, it's just another day in that narrative.
And we've seen, and we will continue to talk about it. We don't just cover crypto. We like to talk about the macro outlook and what's going on in the economy at large, the world economy, and how it plays with the blockchain market, interacts, the correlation and causal relation.
But while we're looking at this sea of red, I'm just curious, what's Juno doing? Number 60 something, 61 or whatever. I'm just curious.
Sure.
Because we just talked about how the IBC is really one of the bright spots in this world, in this crypto space right now, when the sideways movement, right? As we kind of contract and we see the Fed and the narrative switching to a bit of a rate hike and a risk off environment. We're seeing crypto trading with other risk on assets and coming down. But even in this moment of correction, we're still seeing some bright spots. Now, Juno, of course, is down a little bit today with everything else. But look at that 30-day. Look at that 30-day, 14-day, 30-day. I mean, this is in the middle of when most other projects are dumping, and it's up 30% in the month, so it's definitely a bright spot. And the reason why it's not arbitrary, people aren't buying Juno and Atom and Osmosis and Luna for just no reason. These things are doing well in a bearish market because of the innovation and how awesome the IBC is, and how early we are in the IBC, plus how hard it's been for many people in DeFi to even invest or to even acquire any of these tokens, any of these blockchains, to even get in over here. You'd have to go through a centralized exchange, either a KuCoin or a Coinbase or a Binance or something along those lines. But now that's changing. The bridges are being built. And so it's an exciting time in the IBC ecosystem. And it's for these reasons that we're seeing this is like a bright spot in a sea of red, right?
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, there hasn't been a lot of interoperability in the past. We did a video on this recently, and the idea is that through centralized exchanges, through AM DEXs in the past on Ethereum, there's been easy access to EVM chains, but the Cosmos ecosystem, which has been building out its interoperable blockchain communication network for quite some time, has just gotten to the point in the last year where you have these actual independent blockchains emerging and connecting with each other. Crypto.org, which is also crypto.com, bought out LA Staples Stadium. We're talking about large blockchains, and it used to be the only way people could access these was finding Atom on a centralized exchange and then knowing how to take it to a Web 3.0 wallet and going to Osmosis. But it took nuanced understanding and use of liquidity from small centralized exchanges. Coinbase or something like that, Binance. Whereas
Right.
now we're seeing interoperability bridges being developed to take people straight from Sushi Swap, straight from Uniswap, straight from the EVM chains directly in to, this is huge. People don't recognize as more regulation, whatever comes in as more, we've seen centralized exchanges come and go over the years as laws change. But for those blockchain projects that continue to build and advance and innovate, those things don't matter as much because you actually have the foundation built to allow for that interoperability without the need of those centralized. And we're seeing that here. Now, why airdrops? Well, as you see, every one of these blockchains, Osmosis kind of pioneered this, being born from the Atom stakers, but you find fair drops. We talk about fair drops, where if you have a stake, you're providing liquidity, you vote, you do certain things, you'll earn more free crypto. Not really free, but just for lack of a better term, that's the airdrop. You'll earn more crypto for your value added. So why do we mention the IBC as something, if you want to look forward, whether the market's being bearish, consolidating, there's a strong potential for growth in this ecosystem for many reasons, but they've already come out and said, if you support Osmosis, Juno, Secret, Luna, Atom, if you XPRT, persistence, if you support and more, we'll continue to cover more.
And Terra as well, right?
Absolutely. If you support these, you're going to earn airdrops as new blockchains of utility and value come into the IBC. And there's been a market. It's like marketing directed to those people who add value, instead of it going out to VCs, venture capitalists, or others that may dump when the price goes high. The idea for many of these blockchains has been to use some of that funding and direct the marketing to the community-driven projects that really help grow from the ground up, those who add value and support the network. And with that, you're seeing opportunities in crypto that if you're only stuck on Ethereum or Phantom or if you've been on EVMs and have not been a part of the IBC in the last year, you've missed out on some of the largest opportunities. And it's just the beginning. I mean,
and I'd like to point something out too, that unlike, and I'm not an expert on airdrop, so correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm ready to be wrong, but I understand, my understanding is that the way airdrops work outside of the IBC is that they are chain specific. So if you do something to qualify for an airdrop on Ethereum, you're going to get, say, Uniswap, it'll come on Ethereum, but you wouldn't expect to see, say, like a Polygon airdrop on from what you did on Ethereum, or an Avalanche airdrop because of something you did on Ethereum, right? It's not cross-chain interoperable airdrops. Right. Whereas the IBC, I mean, I'm getting airdrops on new chains like Evmos or Chihuahua or Sommelier or Stars for things I did on other chains.
Right. They're working together.
This is profoundly unique in a sense, right?
Absolutely. So that's why we bring this up. There are opportunities in the IBC when it comes to airdrops and community-driven growth, and which is kind of what decentralized DeFi blockchain is all about. It's about helping build value from the ground up. So IBC is where it's at when it comes to opportunities. This is one of the largest sectors, markets, if you want to look at it from that perspective. And if you're following on Twitter, I've got a couple accounts. Crypto Like Mo is a huge account that's very active. And if you follow us on Twitter, there are actually many others that we give shout outs and love to all the time. But these are some large Cosmos IBC ecosystem accounts. Crypto Danny is another one. Crypto Dan Vans is the Twitter. Now, Twitter is a very active place. I recommend, once you get involved, follow Secret Network, Juno, follow Terra, Luna, Terra, follow these ecosystems, and you'll hear directly from the teams and the devs what's rolling out. But there are also some amazing community members that put out a lot of content. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube or see this post from Twitter, CryptoCito is one of the largest, if not the largest, IBC crypto influencer YouTuber out there. So when it comes to IBC airdrops, look at this. I mean, boom, 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 boom. Upcoming. He just pinned that tweet, and he's constantly doing updates and interviews. So if you want to be fresh on the latest IBC airdrops, make sure to follow CryptoCito Twitter and also on YouTube, because he's very active on YouTube. So if you follow YouTube and do that, make sure
and tell him we sent you. Right.
Oh yeah, and tell him that we sent you.
Yep, because that'll matter.
You can do that if you want to. Another one is, and these are two, I think these are two of the largest influencers when it comes to the IBC and in crypto. So IBC opportunities, the point of this video, where are the airdrops? We've got another large chain to cover, but when it comes to the IBC, obviously you're following us because you love them secret updates and what's going on with the privacy by default. We're really excited to talk about the innovations there, and macro outlooks, and just overall the economic outlook with crypto and blockchain. That's why you love this channel, right? You can let us know in the comments. But Liam L1am_crypto is the Twitter. Liam Connor is another one of the premium top. Follow my channel to stay up to date. He even tells you, I mean, that's what it's about. Follow his channel, stay up to date. And he's got a YouTube. He's always doing video, like we have on our channel. We do tutorials. We have actual DeFi tutorial walkthroughs. We've got a playlist for that. Well, he does the same thing, but his videos are very clean and edited, and he goes through a lot more detail on IBC airdrops and opportunities. So, I mean, look at this.
Very good.
Right here already. Boom, 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 boom. So put this on your list of do your own research to stay abreast of the latest. If you want to know what are the premium resources of information out there for IBC airdrops, here are some. Now there are some others that don't have, 10,000 followers that are very active that I am very grateful to follow on here. So if you follow us at Wise_Bitcoin or at Dawn of the DAO, you'll know some others that are very engaged and dropping a lot of knowledge bombs. But I'm not going to.
Now I don't see the spreadsheet we talked about. Did you want to include that on our IBC info before we wrap up and move to the next major ecosystem? Or I didn't want to interrupt you or cut you off, but
no, you're right.
This is some alfalfa right here too.
And we're going to drop this in the links below. So something else in the do your own research is a Cosmos drop list. And what does this go through? What is this all about? So
this is a spreadsheet which categorizes, lists the various airdrop opportunities that are on the IBC that are in the part of the Cosmos Tendermint ecosystem. Just to, and you can even, exactly. You can tip them, or you can check out their website. Okay. And this is a very interesting resource. You get a description of what the airdrop is about. You get claim dates, snapshot dates, and there's details about what you need to do as well in some of these to qualify. And it's very much it's a handy resource for kind of like a one-stop shop for all your IBC airdrop info. This is a big deal. Of course, I've got to mention this before we go on to the next thing. So we'll have a link so you can add this to your list of research, and big deal. I mean, that's huge. And don't forget to send love to those people who provide valuable information to you and help you. If you're like, oh man, I just made hundreds or thousands of dollars off of that knowledge drop, you can say, here's, don't forget to tip your waiter kind of a thing. That's nice karmic vibe. Exactly. Right? But let's check it out. Love. We went through this. Now there's one more in the IBC ecosystem, also on with Secret and others, Osmosis. Dark Side of the Podcast, if you're into the podcast style, and he does a lot of actual DeFi tutorial walkthroughs as well. Definitely check out this channel. And I like his work. He's fun to watch. He's fun, and he's been around. He's an OG. He's got some great perspectives. So, okay, IBC is a big deal. We talked about why. Now, something completely has nothing to do with the IBC, and as you know, we're all over the place, which is like, but that's okay. It's because crypto and blockchain's all over the place. So if you're only in the EVM, you only know what's going on Phantom, you're missing out. IBC or what's going on over here. And Hex, when it comes to opportunities,
and OGs
Oh,
crypto and knowledge and education.
and how
Richard
about
Hart,
innovation?
innovation.
The first time value digital currency that exists. This is a term we coined, and we're going to bust out with our neologism. But yeah, Hex is amazing. They are the first crypto that pays out the inflation of the token supply equally and to everybody who commits to a certain amount of time, right? You stake and you get paid out a given rate based on that time dimension of how long you're committing. So that's a way to distribute the new tokens in a fair way, right? Because otherwise you're wondering, okay, they go to the miners or they go to the stakers. Well, now you have centralizing elements there. You know, who are the miners or who are the stakers? You know, and is there a threshold that you have to meet before you can stake, right, and be a staker on the network? So there's various things about POS and POW chains that do have centralizing flaws. But this move on Richard Hart's part to design a decentralized solution to that, where the new issuance is fairly distributed, that's massive in terms of solving big questions about like Cantillon effects and the redistribution of wealth and like all these issues that we talk about. And it needs to be underlined that Hex is moving towards, you know, solving some of these problems with crypto. So it's a very innovative.
I love that you mentioned that. He does a lot for charity when it comes to the things that brought us from our econ backgrounds excited about the creative destruction, the decentralization, the new monetary mechanics, that the potential that's there with the technology. So having seen the shortcomings over time with Bitcoin or other chains when it comes to scalability, privacy, and it's great to see, like you mentioned, these innovative solutions using the technology, taking it to another level. And what are we calling it? Time value currency?
Yeah, that's what we came up with.
That, because it removes that Cantillon, it takes it away from the centralization of stakers, like validation staking pools, or the centralization of proof of work miners. And it now takes a monetary system and uses the value of time that gives it a more egalitarian approach, where everyone in the world has equal access to annual inflation of a money based upon that delayed gratification. So there's an actual value transfer being done through time sacrifice, which is, you know, right, when you study interest rates or time value of money, this is a feature. It's natural. This is actually something that is organic and is beautiful to put to code and have that access. So why is this in the airdrop? Well, other than the fact that Hex has been one of the best, if not the best performing crypto over the last, since its inception in that time period, you look at its unique innovation, what it brings, it's behind the largest airdrop that's about to take place in the next week or two. So if you have something on Ethereum in your Ethereum wallet, it's basically going to get forked and copied over to Pulsechain and PulseX. Now, do your own research. There are some people out there dedicated on YouTube and Twitter. I recommend you. We don't have enough time to be able to cover all the Hex content, and there's a lot out there happening right now, but absolutely follow Richard Hart, because when he speaks, it's worth listening to. He's provided a lot of knowledge, free knowledge and value over the years. And it's beautiful to see people's intellectual honesty and growth when they change their minds, as we make and learn all the time. We're a channel of showing our research, learning on the go, making some mistakes and moving forward and building. So that's pretty much the nature of learning a new tech. And that's one of the many values. Also, as mentioned earlier, decentralization, charity, supporting freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of assembly, what blockchain offers to break down traditional paradigms that may not be efficient. He's really been out there to speak that and keep that ethos clear, instead of it just being listed on the latest centralized exchange and what you can be to appease the local jurisdiction in order to pump your bag. So there's been a purity of that community. And I would say that the Hex community, the Hexicans, IBC community, Secret Network, Juno, these grassroots driven, I would say that in my experience, having been in different blockchain crypto waters, these are two of the strongest communities with a very natural, organic growth model that brings them together and brought together for wanting to see blockchain and crypto survive and thrive for many of the same reasons.
You know, I think maybe part of that is because, like, looking at Secret, looking at Hex, there's clearly an ideological, you know, it's beyond just we want to make money, but there's like a mission, a social purpose inherent in some of these things. And I think when you have that and it's clear and it's out front, then you have something to rally around beyond just pumping your own bags, right?
Absolutely.
And I love to see it.
But pumping your bags are important and being transparent. And so Richard Hart's very transparent about working and laboring very hard to add value to his ecosystem, as are the founders of Secret and many other chains. So it's good to know the people that are out there working hard to build value and that are open in what they're doing. Hex, what's happening with Pulsechain launching. This is the largest airdrop opportunity. And I know that Hedron is something that just built off of Hex, allowing people to create NFT stakes. So this is another community where you may find a lot of growth, a lot of, I want to say, airdrops or other perks for supporting early. Don't be surprised. And it's just a great place to see crypto thrive if you're in it to support decentralization and to support be your own bank and having those opportunities afforded to people around the world in a, you know, equitable, ethical, all of those ickles that are great.
So who would we follow? Do we have any social media places? Oh, let's check out Pulse. Yeah.
Well, I have these websites I'll list, and there's Hedron. You know, I really, I think you should just YouTube. I don't have anyone. There's too many. There's several. That they just pop up all the time.
Definitely Richard Hart would be one, obviously.
If I type in Hex, let's see what pops in my thing.
Yeah.
This Twitter I have all these are okay. These are people that are active on, active posting good content on Hex all the time. Hex Orca is doing Twitter spaces and talking. So these people have great posts, great content, and I would definitely check them out. So pause the screen and at RG for Pirate, all these Hexline S, I can't pronounce that. Hex Orca, I can pronounce that. Mad Hatter, DeFi, I like that name. So I don't know, probably follow each other. That sounds good. Well, I think this covered a lot of stuff. We're saying IBC, Hex ecosystems, that's looking forward, whether or not, and we do feel the market's going to continue to correct. What you mentioned earlier, we wrap this up. We're not looking at dollar value prices. We're looking at blockchain macro outlook on which chains, which communities are going to be around for a year or two, whatever's happening in the market. We do feel with interest rates, the Fed has not even started raising rates yet with all that going on. Supply chain, we're seeing what people are talking about, price inflation, which we're going to do a video on absolutely shortly. But inflation being at record rates right now is a combination of obviously the money printing, but also the supply shock, right? Because it's just being analyzed as a price gauge, and there's no separation between what of this price is coming from pure money printing and how much of these price shocks are coming from the supply changes, right?
Yeah, those are interesting questions. Yeah. And if you don't know, or if it's both, then what do? You know, I mean, you try to solve the monetary issue and by hiking rates, you just made the supply chain problem worse. So you kind of got this rock and a hard place thing we love talking about, and we will continue talking about as things move, because they are moving so fast. It seems like we make a video, it publishes, and then only 24 hours later, we're sitting around talking about how we got to make another video and update. So yeah.
Speaking of, right? So the McDonald's is now officially out of Russia. We just did a video on that. And now a lot of these smaller chains, corporations have removed from Russia. So the sanctions are getting even tighter, and more is happening, more is changing. You know what to do. If you like this kind of information, hope you found some value. Don't forget to follow. We'll leave all these links below. Again, IBC, Hex, let that kind of go through and do your own research of what's potentially could be adding a lot of value in the future. I think we covered it all.
Yes, we did.
All right. Well, until the next time, have a beautiful day, and namaste, y'all.
Thank you.